My name is Jezebel, the Queen of Israel, and my story is a dark tale of power, betrayal, and terror. I was raised in Sidon, the daughter of King Ethbal, a devotee of Baal. From an early age, I learned to manipulate and control, and when I married Ahab, king of Israel, I brought with me the gods of my land, Baal and Asherah, into the heart of the kingdom of Israel. When I arrived in Israel, I saw a people divided between worshipping the God of their ancestors and the temptation of new gods. With the cunning that defined me, I began to spread the worship of Baal and Asherah. I built temples and altars, and with the influence I exerted over my husband Ahab, we decreed the worship of these gods as the official religion. Prophets of Baal were treated with honor, while those of God were persecuted. But there was one man who refused to bow down. Elijah, the prophet of God, became my fiercest enemy. His eyes burned with a fire I could not extinguish. Elijah challenged my reign, claiming that the God of Israel was the one true God. In response, I ordered him hunted, but Elijah was as elusive as a shadow. The tension reached its peak on Mount Carmel. Elijah issued a challenge: the prophets of Baal against the one prophet of God. We faced a scene of tension and terror. My prophets called on Baal, cut themselves, danced frantically, but Baal remained silent. Elijah, on the other hand, called on his God, and fire fell from heaven, consuming the sacrifice, the water, and even the stones of the altar. Rage and despair overtook me. My prophets were dead, and Elijah had become a hero of the people. I swore vengeance. However, Elijah fled to the wilderness, leaving me powerless to immediately fulfill my vow of death. I was not a woman who gave up easily. I continued to consolidate my power through fear and violence. My next target was Naboth, a righteous man who owned a vineyard next to Ahab's palace. Ahab desired that vineyard, but Naboth refused to sell it. Using my influence and cunning, I falsely accused Naboth of blasphemy and treason. He was stoned to death, and Ahab took the vineyard for himself. My cruel deeds did not go unnoticed in the eyes of God. Elijah returned with a message of condemnation. He prophesied that dogs would lick my blood in the same place where Naboth had been killed. At first, I laughed at his prophecy, but a shadow of fear began to grow within me. Years passed, and my reign of terror continued. But the seeds of rebellion were planted. Jehu, a military commander, was anointed by a prophet of God to destroy the house of Ahab. He led an uprising against us, and violence spread throughout the kingdom. On the fateful day of my end, I knew Jehu was coming. I went up to my room and, with the calm of a queen, painted my eyes and arranged my hair. I would face death as I had always lived, with courage and defiance. Jehu entered Jezreel, and when I looked out the window, there he was. "Is it peace, Zimri, murderer of your master?" I cried, trying to disarm him with words of contempt. But Jehu, unmoved, ordered my eunuchs to throw me out the window. In the next instant, I felt the emptiness under my feet and the fall. The impact was brutal. I felt my body break, and the pain was indescribable. As I lay there on the ground, watching life slip away from me, I heard the dogs approaching. I remembered Elijah's prophecy, and final terror gripped me. The dogs tore at my flesh, devouring me alive while I was still conscious. My death was slow and agonizing, a reflection of my cruel acts. My story is a dark reminder of the consequences of defying the power of God. My quest for power and control led to a terrible downfall. The horrors I caused were only surpassed by the brutality of my own end. Amid my reign of terror, I ignored the warnings and underestimated the strength of the God of Israel. The truth I neglected is that God's power is absolute and inexorable. No matter how high I ascended, I could not escape divine judgment. God used Elijah, Jehu, and even the dogs to carry out his will and bring justice. My life and death bear witness to the fact that no one can escape God's justice. My desire for power and my cruelty brought destruction upon me and my house. The power I thought I had was an illusion, a shadow before the light of true divine power. And so, as my flesh was devoured by the dogs, my soul faced the eternal consequences of my actions. In my last breath, I acknowledged the inescapable power of God. My name, Jezebel, has become a symbol of evil and corruption, but also an eternal warning of God's power and the fate of those who challenge his authority. Let my story serve as a lesson to all. No matter how much evil seems to triumph, the power of God will always prevail. And in the end, all will face the just and inexorable judgment of the Creator. This was just one of the many stories we will share here. Stay tuned, because soon we will have more surprising and impactful tales. Don't miss the next episodes, filled with drama, suspense, and powerful lessons. Subscribe to the channel now and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any details. Download this powerful and blessed ebook, The 7 Most Powerful Prayers in the Bible. It's free, and the link is in the video description.